everyone. Welcome to another episode of Taking Up Space, a Michelle A. Mayer podcast. Always excited about coming forward. Today's no different, you guys. Today's conversation, I wasn't going to cross-reference any kind of scripture to today's reference, but I guess I can. It really correlates to a couple of different instances in the Bible. Today's topic is going to be blindly following. Yeah. I really need to bring this one to the forefront because, never in my life have I seen a time where so much blindly following is just going on amongst adults. At a time in my life, I would associate such things with young people, inexperienced people, people coming up, young adults that don't really know themselves. And so they are susceptible to the wiles of the enemy and the tricks of other people. And you would expect people that don't have as much experience, that have not advanced in age, matured to certain levels, you would expect them to be those that would experience such things. But I'm here to tell you that blindly following is a trend that I see on the upswing, and not only amongst the young people, but adults, fully grown individuals. And the only determining factor that people have in justifying who they blindly follow a lot of times is the duration of time that they've known those people. The duration of time that they've known them, because they knew them for a significant amount of time or even a very short period of time, but maybe a lot of experiences happen within that time frame, they will take that person's word as law. And I just don't believe that we should do that. I have been on the receiving end of such things, and I've experienced both sides of that house where I've been in situations and people that I knew, and I found that they have befallen certain situations, and I would be in support of them because I love them and they're my friends or they're my family. But I too would know their personality types, and I would know, okay, this may or may not be completely true, but I don't really care if it's completely true. I'm still going to support them, even if it's not completely true, because I'm not going to really act on anything in my support of them. I'm just going to support them emotionally. Even though I know that they're probably not telling the total truth. There probably is something significant not being told in the situation. And it would only be at a time when I would somewhat be asked to come forward and actively support them, that I would have to question and ask more questions about the situation to find out if this is really worth the actions that this situation is now requiring of me to support this person. I'm here to tell you that there are people in the world out here that source and scout for others just so that they can do their dirty work for them. There are people in the world that legitimately go out and premeditatively find themselves in situations that they know that they shouldn't be in, that they know that they should not partake in, yet they do so for whatever need that they may have, whatever it is. It's always something underhanded, because anything righteous and truthful, you wouldn't need to move in such ways. But because you're moving with an underhanded foot against someone undeserving of that which you're looking to do to them, you must go out and scout underhandedly, and you will use the network of people you have around you, whether network of people at work, it could be a work situation and you're scouting on a new employee, someone that doesn't have as much knowledge of the system as you, or whether, it could be a neighborhood situation where people around you, you grew up with those people and they kind of know you, or they know you very well. And because of the longevity aspect, they will support you. But you want to prey on someone new in the neighborhood that doesn't know you as well. All of these different variances are examples of how people will use other people to do their dirty work and to facilitate an agenda. Why would they do this? Well, I just said, they know they're wrong. Truth doesn't need to do that. Truth, friend, can stand by itself. It doesn't need anyone to support it. It doesn't need to run and tell it to anybody. You don't hear truth being shouted off the top of buildings and mountains. Truth is silent. Truth is confident. Lies and deception, all of those things need support. You need head count. You need people to support you when you're leading with lies. You need people to help justify the slander, whatever the slander may be. You need people, you need more head count in lies to try to overtake the individual standing in the truth. This is just the foundation, and I'm looking to shed light on this so that you see it for what it is. You need people to help justify, I wrote these things down, to help justify the lie. You need group slander, support. You need to get more people to support you and your lie so that you can contend against that one person standing in the truth. You look to make the lie acceptable by way of many agreements with other people. You look to legitimize the lie, the outright lie, by way of getting many other people to agree with you on the lie, whether they know it's a lie or not. If you can get them to agree with you on your falsehood, now you're mighty enough to come against this one truth with that huge amount of people facilitating your lie. This way, the truth looks wrong. This is the only way you can get the truth to look wrong, is if you go out and you multiply the lie amongst many people. Now that one that is standing in the truth looks odd. They look like, well, they must not be telling the truth. Nobody agrees with them. Well, nobody agrees with them, friend. It's not that nobody agrees with them. It's that they don't feel the desire or the need to go and tell their truth to somebody else. They may not even know what the lie is. You see, this is the thing with those that do such things. They kind of quarantine the lie. They quarantine the lie and the deception amongst those people that they know would never, ever, ever be in contact with the person that holds the truth. And they know the nature of truth. They know the nature of one that has a truth. And that nature is that they don't need to feel supported by anyone. They don't need to scream this truth off the top of a hill or a mountain or a building. They don't need to find any and everyone to communicate what they're experiencing, because they know that they're standing in the truth. That's the whole thing about truth. It's not loud. It doesn't need a lot of people to accept it. It just is. The only thing that is loud and that needs acceptance and that needs head count is a lie. I want to support this because I'm here to tell you there are many good people being led astray by lies of other people. There are many relationships that God has established before any of these people have ever been even born, for them to have with certain people that have been thwarted because of the lies and the deception of someone. These people that support those that come amongst them with these lies, support them out of love. They're doing a righteous thing. They're looking at it like, okay, this is my friend. I've known them. I don't want to ever feel like they're being taken advantage of. I want to protect them and support them because they're like family to me. We all stand for the same thing, whether it's a group of people at work, whether it's the management team or whether it's the sales rep team or whether it's the customer service team or the employee team. You have camaraderie with these people. You spent a lot of time with these people. Could be a family unit, could be a relationship, regardless. Friendships. You have camaraderie with these people. You've seen people in this family have children or in this community have children and grow, and you've seen their children grow and their kids play with your kids and all this type of stuff. You're the one being sold on the lie. It's being sold on the lie and you accepting it, not knowing it's a lie, are doing so out of love. Those are your people. You're supporting your people. Yet, you're supporting a lie. You're involving yourself in a lie. And the person that is involving you is the person that is at most fault. They don't even respect you enough. They don't even love you enough to tell you the truth of the situation. They rather get you involved in something that will cost you. Just because of their ego, their will, or their fear. They rather say, okay, I don't want to take the rap for this by myself. I'm going to include all of these other people. Oh, I don't want to have to befall this. I don't care who I can get to conjoin me in this. I'm going to bring them in because of my mistakes that I'm going to have to own up to. And I don't want to own up to them. I'm going to give you an example of this. Remember Ahab, king of Israel, and his wife, Jezebel? Perfect example of this, y'all. Ahab had a castle that was directly next door to a man named Naboth's vineyard. Side by side, not another parcel of land in between Ahab's castle, Naboth's vineyard. And Ahab says, okay, I don't want Naboth to be living over here no more. I'm going to take Naboth's vineyard. So he comes to Naboth initially as a friend, Ahab. He comes to Naboth as a friend. He comes to Naboth as a person that feels as if he has the authority to get Naboth to agree with him on how he should handle his vineyard. Whether it was because Ahab had been in that castle longer than Naboth, or whether it was because Ahab felt as though because he was the king within that area and that region, that he had the upper hand on handling Naboth, and that Naboth would be more inclined to do as he wanted him to do because of such. Either way, Ahab felt as if Naboth was going to feel insecure about dealing with Ahab because of Ahab's title and because of the longevity Ahab had had in that place. And Ahab comes to Naboth and he asks him, let me buy your vineyard from you. And Naboth says, no, I don't want to sell it. Just in Naboth disagreeing with Ahab, just in Naboth standing in the rightful ownership of his property and saying, no, I don't want to do that. I don't agree with you. I'm not going to allow you to do this. Just in Naboth setting boundaries openly with Ahab, it angered Ahab. Ahab now feels as if Naboth has disrespected him, when Naboth has done nothing but what he should have rightfully done as the owner of his property. Naboth has every right to tell Ahab no. Yet Ahab is not used to people telling him no. Ahab and his witch wife are used to using their sorcery, their witchcraft, their power as king and queen of Israel to get their way. And Naboth is one of the only people you see in the Bible that outside of Elijah that comes and Micaiah that comes and checks Ahab and says, no, I don't want to be bothered with that. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to allow you to do that. No. And this infuriates Ahab. And Ahab has nothing he can do about it. The property rightfully belongs to Naboth. So what does Ahab do? Ahab goes into his house and he pouts. This is what happens when you deal with people at their level, standing in your righteousness. When they feel like they can't get you down into their level, they can't get you into an argument with them so that you can look just as foolish as them, or they can't, the trickery of their witchcraft and all of this stuff, it doesn't work on you. They begin to sulk. This is what's going on with Ahab. He begins to sulk. And he sulks so much. Verse 4 of chapter 21 of the book of 1 Kings. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite has spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would not eat no bread. So Ahab feels disempowered. He cannot control Naboth. He can't force Naboth to give him his stuff. He can't make Naboth do what he wants him to do on his property. It's Naboth's property. If Ahab wanted the property so much, he should have bought it before Naboth got it. But that's what happens with people. They don't want it until you get it. They just don't want you to have it. It doesn't have anything to do with this property. This property had been there the entire time. The property only became a problem when Naboth owned the property. And now it's a problem. And Naboth is a man of integrity and of character. He's an honorable man. Only a dishonorable person would bow to such things. It's disintegrous to let someone come upon you and all that you have worked for and sacrificed for, and for you to give it over to them because you're afraid of them, because they want to bully you, They want to use the fact that of whatever reasoning that they have to use against you to bully you. And then in them bullying you, you're supposed to feel so intimidated and fearful of them that you just let them do whatever they want to do on your property, with your property, whatever. And Naboth is not that person. And him not being that, he challenges Ahab and tells Ahab no. He puts Ahab in his place and he keeps him there. Naboth keeps him in his place. And Ahab is weakened by it. He has no way of countering it. And in him being weakened by it and having no way of countering it, he goes home and he lays down. He becomes depressed and he doesn't eat or drink. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake to Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. Because Naboth said no. He said no to everything. He says, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to deal with you on any of the levels that you're looking to deal with me on. No, I'm going to keep doing it this way. I want it to go this way because this is the reason why I bought it. So I can do it my way. I didn't buy it so that you and anyone else can come upon me and position your ideas to me, and then I feel indebted to you because I'm afraid of you, and then I take on your ideas out of fear. No, I didn't do that. I bought this to do it my way because it's mine, rightfully. Now, if you wanted it, you could have bought it. Just like I bought it, you could have bought it. But because you didn't buy it, I bought it, and this is how I'm going to do it. And he tells this to his wife, the witch, who's now the queen of Israel. And Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, Doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Aren't you the king of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. Don't worry, don't fret, none of that. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. This is very key here. This tells you what type of man Ahab was. The whole reason Ahab went home and laid in his bed and pouted and didn't eat and all this kind of stuff is because mommy is going to pay attention. I need to get mommy to pay attention. Jezebel, because that's the way he's acting. He's acting as if Jezebel is his mother. This is the way anybody could establish this. And she's saying, I'm going to fix it. And what she will do, and many of you, a lot of times it's not even the Jezebels. It could be Ahab. Either way, what happened is that letters would be created and lies. They will go into the community and they would get the people that were supposed to protect all of the people of the community that God had established in the kingdom to protect the kingdom. Whether the warriors, the men of the kingdom that are there to protect the people within the kingdom, the environment, The people within systems of the environment that God would bless to have seats in the system, they would corrupt these people by lying to them, and the people would know that they were lies. They had conjured such a lie on this innocent man, this integral man. This man knew that in him turning down these people, that it was going to be a problem. And he still had the integrity to do it. Just him alone. He don't have an army of people. You never see Naboth, the Bible, speaking to anybody but Naboth, going against this kingdom of people. The only thing that Naboth did wrong was bought this property and stood up to these people and told them, no, I don't want to partake in anything that you have in mind. I'm not interested. And in him doing something as simple as that caused these people to use all of which God had established, all of the men that were to protect the women and children in the community, all of those that had political seats that could make it difficult for this man. They would use these people and their relationships with these people to turn these people against this one innocent man. This one man that was standing for the most integrous thing you can stand for. Family. Rights. Your fundamental rights as a person in the world. Had it been these people, they probably would have did the same thing. When an enemy comes upon you, or let's just say a person, when someone comes upon you and wants to partake of something that belongs to you, is it your job to say, okay, well, sometimes you can use it out of fear, knowing you don't want to do that? Is it your job to do that? Or is it your right and your job to tell that person, no, I'm not interested. No, thank you. If someone comes upon you and wants to use your car, and you say, no, they say, I want to use your car just twice a year. You say, no, I'm not, I don't want to do that. And they get so upset with you that they go and they create this whole lie on you in your own community. Now you're public enemy number one to these unrighteous people. Who's right and who's wrong? These types of things happen more often than not. People standing with people that are just wrong as two left feet, from top to bottom. And they do it out of the fact that they've known them for a while. God would destroy this all over something irrelevant. This is how low Israel had gotten. This is the king of Israel arguing with the man that lives behind him, on the side of him, over something that was not his. He had no rights to it. I don't care how long you live there. It does not matter. It's not yours. Nobody is mistreating you. You are mistreating you. And that man is not allowing you to mistreat him. He's doing the right thing. He's doing what you would tell your children to do. He's standing up to you and saying, and taking ownership of his stuff and saying, no. But you got to stop allowing people to misdirect you. Because I'm here to tell you, Just like Naboth was avenged by God. God will avenge his children, friend. You cannot treat people any kind of way. You can plot on people. You can spread lies on people. You can make yourself look like the victim. You can do all of that. But the truth remains. And the fact that you're moving in ways that are so disintegrous, blatantly, this is blatant disintegrity. There was no reason for any of this. All because the king couldn't have his way. Yet God would do him dirty. God would do him and his wife dirty. I don't even want to speak to how God would do them. Please look it up in 1 Kings. All because of the disintegrity. The disintegrity that they chose to take advantage of for nothing. They were wrong. There was no righteousness in this at all. They would use God's footmen, God's warriors, to plot against this innocent man. God's children that were thinking that they are in support of something righteous because they are being sold on an outright baseless and blatant lie. Had Naboth known of the lie that these people had concocted against him, he could have easily annihilated it. Easily. Yet, Naboth never finds out about the lie. So how is this written in the Bible? How is it spoken to that there was an outlandish lie? And how are all of the people that were in on the lie written in the pages of this book? Because God knew the lie. Nothing went undone. These people thinking that they are plotting on this man, they are annihilating themselves. One after the next after the next. These people that were in support of this lie all put their hand into a wicked jar. All of them. Against a man that had done nothing to nobody. A man that had nothing but enough integrity and gumption about himself to say, no, I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been here, friend. I'm, sorry that, I'm have to tell you no, but I'm going to have to tell you no because that's not what I want to do with this. I had something else in mind here. And I don't feel the need to explain what I had in mind on my property to you. I don't care who you are. And him standing in that mindset provoked these people to do the most wicked and heinous act against him. All of them. All of these people were convicted and condemned because of what was done. These people hadn't have known it was a lie. They all agreed to the lie. But they were sold on an idea. What made the people agree to Jezebel and her idea was the major lie. They had been sold on an idea of this person that was completely a lie. Jezebel has come to these people making it seem as if Naboth has done something against her and her husband, and he has not. He has done exactly what the people that they're going to probably would have done and told them, no, you don't get, I don't want to do that. I don't want to give you my house, or I don't want to agree to allow you to do whatever you want to do with my house. It's my to tell you, we're coming out of a lot of craziness with all of these rental things with the COVID and all of these different situations that they had with COVID. And many of you watching this video know what I'm talking about. Many of you that have had properties and you have had people squatting on your property, and you still have to make your mortgage payment. Yeah, you got someone living on your property, been there 4 or 5 years, 3 years, ain't paid a dime. And yet they want to have parties and they want to do all this kind of stuff. And you're supposed to be, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. And you're struggling to make your mortgage and they ain't paid nothing. They ain't even tried to get the people that could help you get some back money. They ain't even tried to do that. They want you to lose your property. But anything you say against any of these people, they're offended. Anything that makes disallows the property to be looking as pristine as it would had you been getting some income, they want to make it look like you're just a terrible property owner. Yet they haven't paid a dime. These people haven't given you anything. This is Naboth and Jezebel. It's the exact same situation, y'all. Absolutely the same thing. And yet people will support this. People will be in support of the wickedness without ever for a second putting themselves in that situation. How would you feel if Jezebel and Naboth was living next door to you and not giving you anything? Would you be doing the same thing as Naboth? Would you feel the same way as Naboth? Would you? Or would you just let them do whatever they want to do? Would you be understanding with them and say, okay, I've been dealing with this. They gotten behind on their rent and they're 5 months behind, and okay, I'm gonna be okay with them. I'm gonna work with them. But what if it's 5 years? What if it's 5 years? And what if for 3 of those 5 years you were cool with them and you were trying to actually work something with them? But now 5 years in, you're not willing to work nothing with them. Could you understand that? Would you be understanding of that? Then you should go and let Jezebel and Naboth live next door to you, friend, for free. You let them live next door to you for free. And you'll see what it's like. This right here, this instance in the Bible, it covers a multitude of situations. We're speaking over neighbors in here. This is just a neighbor situation. Jezebel and Ahab had a plot of land that was right next door to Naboth's land. And they wanted to tell him what he needed to do with it. And he said no. And because he said no, they plotted the most wicked scheme against him amongst all the people in the community. Had everybody in agreement with him. Got everybody caught up with him. That's exactly what happened. They all got caught up on their scheme. A petty scheme that wasn't even, it had no grounds. This wasn't about righteousness. This wasn't about Naboth trying to take advantage of Jezebel and Ahab. This was about Jezebel and Ahab trying to take advantage of a righteous man. And them getting everybody in their community in agreement with them because they knew them long and because they all worked together and they had business interactions with one another. And they plotted the most wicked scheme on this man, and they all got caught, and they all were cursed and suffered. That's the story. Yet we will see that this thing goes farther out than just domestic disputes, land disputes. This thing can find itself in all sorts of ways of people taking advantage of other people, innocent people, creating complete storylines on innocent people and ruining their lives and not thinking anything about it. A whole storyline based on nothing but lies. Jezebel and Ahab would not want Naboth to ever find out the truth because Naboth would be able to annihilate it immediately. He would be able to speak his truth to their lies, and they would be seen for who they were. And this is what the enemy does, and this is why I've created this video. Many of you have the wrong idea on people. You've been sold on a lie by someone that is affected by this person. What do I mean by that? They've been sold on a lie. The person that's selling you on a lie is gathering you into the situation because they feel powerless to the situation. The only reason that they're bringing you in on the situation and wanting you to support them is because they know that they don't have no power in it. They know in the court of law that they would lose. That if Jezebel and Ahab took Naboth to court, Naboth would win. This is why they had to rig the system. So they didn't never want that. The people that are selling you on all of these lies to get you to look at people in the wrong way, they're selling you on these lies because they know the truth of these people. And they know that they would pale in comparison to the truth of these people. A lot of y'all have been sold on 1,000% fabrication of people. Everything that these people have told you about whoever it is that they got you not liking is 1,000% lie. 1,000 degree. And many of you that accept the lies, you know in your heart somewhere, okay, this is probably a lie. But because you're vibrating at that same frequency of those low vibrational liars, the people that do this type of stuff, you all have that in common. You probably out here doing the same thing, lying on people. Lying on people that you feel maybe intimidated because of, or maybe that you feel whatever reason, whatever way, you can't control them, whatever. So you got to facilitate a lie. And what it does is when you get a group of people to agree to a lie, there would have been someone in that group that God had established for that person, that righteous person, to have a relationship with. You just passed up a blessing, a gift for a curse. How do I say that? Well, because now you've partnered with the wickedness. Nothing but a curse can come from that. You've allowed this person to come upon you and tell you all kinds of lies and get you in agreement to be partnering with them on a lie, to do the disintegrous that will only cause you stumbling blocks, whether legal stumbling blocks. Now you're going to get drawn into a legal situation that these people, that never was about you. You never should have been a part of. Or they want to get you to act on something that will get you caught up. Why aren't those people calling you? Are those the type of people that call you and say, hey, I got this business idea. Hey, let's start this business together. Hey, let's go get this together. Hey, and they actually come to fruition and you can actually eat off of it. Are these those people? Or are they only the people that come up with these ingenious schemes that lead you to disaster? Nothing comes from it but negativity, curses. When we look at Naboth, Jezebel, and Ahab, we see a righteous man of God, and we see two wicked people that have made a living on preying on people. Yet the people that they prey on are just as wicked as them. So there's really no retribution. Yet when they come upon the righteous man Ahab, there is swift and severe retribution. They never came across a Naboth before. And because they never came across a Naboth, none of their tricks work. And this is what makes Ahab feel disempowered to the point that he got to go home and lay down. This is the king of Israel. He goes home and lays down and is so depressed that he can't even eat or drink water. That's what happens. The tricks that you play on people that are just as disintegrous as you don't work on everybody. And it frustrates you. It makes a witch, nothing makes a witch more frustrated than not being able to see a wicked result. Because that wicked result that they see gives them a high. It makes them feel, I'm contentious. I am able to contend. I am worthy. They only get good at cursing because they've done it a lot. The only way Jezebel would be so powerful as she was because she cursed everybody. Ahab too. And now they immediately know, I can't work those tricks against this man. I got to get everybody else in because I'm powerless to this man. Let me get everybody else in. Let me get any witch that I know to help me try to curse and get this man. And this is what they do. And they all fall down. God would read it. What happens to Ahab and Jezebel? I don't even want to get on. I don't even want to talk about. Read it. All for nothing. And I'm here to tell you that there are many out here, many of you out here, either being affected by these types of people, for standing in your righteousness, for doing what is right, and not letting these people push you around and have their way with you on your turf, within your environment, setting boundaries with these people. Or you are the ones out here conjuring this, adopting people because you feel powerless to it. So now you must multiply yourself and get many other people involved because you're powerless to it. You can't do nothing with it. Or you are one of those people that they are involving. And I'm here to tell you, God created this system as a righteous system. God created all of you men out here, you warriors, soldiers, for you to be able to protect the righteous people of the system. God did not create you with the spirit that you have in you to protect and to manage, for you to protect and to manage the wickedness. He did not, and you know he did not. And you know the wickedness by its fruit. This is my podcast episode for you today. I love you so much. Jezebel, Naboth, and Ahab. Being misdirected by blindly following. folks will lead you. You'll follow folks straight to hell if you don't have discernment. It is your job to have discernment. It's nobody's job to give it to you. The enemy is not going to come and tell you the truth. It is your discernment, your ability to see the truth in the lie and to be able to adjust accordingly. That is your responsibility. Be good to yourselves and be good to one another. Peace and love.